Let's talk a little bit about Black Widow. The lawsuit with Disney may actually stop the Russo brothers, from directing another MCU movie. And I gotta be honest, boy, that'd be a shame because those boys are talented. The best Marvel movies, by the way, were directed by these guys. The best.
I mean, how many did they do? They did a lot, right?
They did Civil War, Infinity, Endgame, and I think Captain America. I could be wrong with the last one.
Okay, yeah. So here's the story. Scarlett Johansson and the Russo brothers developed a close working relationship during the last several years of the MCU. Johansson starred in every MCU movie helmed by Anthony and Joe Russo. While the Russos took a much-needed break from Marvel after Avengers Endgame, Johansson's journey as Natasha Romanoff officially concluded with the Black Widow release. In a surprising turn of events, following Black Widow's same-day theatrical and Disney Plus release, Johansson sued Disney, as we've talked about several times, because her solo MCU movie didn't receive an exclusive theatrical release as she was promised. The fallout of the lawsuit continues to unfold, with Disney and Johansson continuing to issue statements publicly. Despite possibly having the advantage legally, Disney has so far they've been positioned as the villain in this scenario. Johansson has received support from all corners of Hollywood, including fellow MCU stars, and now it appears the Russo brothers are the latest members of the family to side with Johansson, and their feelings could lead to the directing duo not coming back to the MCU.
Wow, what a shame!
Yeah, crazy.
Honestly, that would be a shame because they are extraordinarily talented. Almost everything they've done, everything they've done in the MCU has been good.
Well, it also says here that in the Wall Street Journal, it kind of broke down Johansson's Black Widow lawsuit and the repercussions of the legal battle. One of the notes included in this article is that the Russo brothers were in discussions to make their MCU return and direct another movie. However, the Russos and Disney are now said to have hit an impasse in these negotiations. The report specifies that the Black Widow lawsuit made the Russo brothers question how their movie would be released and how they will be paid. So it is unknown what movie the Russo brothers were in talks to direct, but it appears those talks have cooled, at least for now, as a result of Disney really not knowing what they're going to do either.
Wow. Meanwhile, Shang-Chi is in its second week, only in theaters, everybody. Go out there and watch it.
I think that really answers the question, doesn't it?
It really does.
I mean, if it was successful in the theater, then that's fine. Let it go into the theater and then let Disney Plus release it on, release their movie 30 to 45 days out. That's what they're planning to do for Shang-Chi, right? So just go with that model moving forward.
Yeah, why not?
It's a money thing.
And why not just be like, okay, look, we were in the middle of a pandemic, we made a mistake with Black Widow. Okay, we get it. Why don't you just take some ownership and be like, we've corrected this mistake. I don't understand why they can't just say that. Like,
well, I don't know either. Maybe
or how about just pay Black Widow and don't even make it public?
Maybe, yeah. Well, she already made, I think she made $10 million for the movie, right? And then she was supposed to make a portion of the amount made at the theater. She thinks she's supposed to get $100 million, which sounds. Yeah.
But there's no way to tell because now it's all up to like their own private bookkeeping. Basically, you're like, all right, cool. Imagine that. Imagine I was like, excuse me. Hey, employee, I know you worked this long, but I'm going to pay you this. Why? Because I am deciding how much your hourly rate's going to be based on my own hidden bookkeeping algorithm.
Yeah.
Like, how does that work? Oh, don't just trust me. F you. No, what? How does it even work? How can you? I'm just going to trust your numbers? Get out of here.
Well, no, and it's tough because this whole thing with releasing in the theaters, it is new. and I want to give Disney the benefit of the doubt in the one thing where they can't see around the corners. But, the reality is we don't know whether things are going to shut down, whether we're going to go into a worse situation with the Delta, and I think that's what they're looking at as well. They don't want to they want to still be able to release their movies. And so they need to have some sort of clause in these contracts that stipulate that. And there's no reason moving forward why they can't do a movie with the Russo brothers and just clearly convey that based on, what's happening with, the pandemic will determine how we release the movie. And if we do it this way, this is your cut. And if we do it this way, this is your cut, right?
Right.
Why does it have to be any harder than that?
Yeah. Why can't it just be clear? Here's the terms of our agreement. Clear.
Yeah, it sounds like Disney wants to,
just
maybe
trust
they make
us.
money
It's
off
okay.
of streaming.
It's okay. Trust us.
Well, maybe they make less money off streaming, so they don't want to commit. That could be what it is. So they don't want to lose money to somebody. They don't want to offer the Russo brothers a certain amount of money if it ends up on streaming. And they also don't want to admit that streaming doesn't do as well. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they're in this catch-22 where they really are kind of stuck. Otherwise, they're going to have to admit that streaming isn't the best way to do it necessarily. But then that takes away their power that they might have over, the theaters.
Yeah, you know that YouTuber Grace Randall?
Grace Randolph?
Randolph. Yeah, Grace Randolph.
Yeah.
She said something about that too. So there's no real way to confirm the metric of the numbers of these streaming services. All you can really do is just take their word for it, and most of them don't even give you accurate accounting. They just sort of round up or down.
Right.
So it's making it hard for a lot of companies that sort of track the success of TV shows and movies and various studios, because if it's only showing on streaming, there's really no way for you to know if that movie made money or not, which means you can't predict. And then there's a whole industries out there based on predicting and reviewing movies, which they just can't accurately do anymore.
No, it's a good point. And AMC has gone so far as to make a commercial with Nicole Kidman. So now AMC, never before, have you ever heard of a theater company advertising themselves on commercials?
Never heard of it.
Never happens. AMC is doing it.
But as a proud gorilla, I'm glad they are. Or ape. An ape, right?
Ape. Yes, you're an ape, not a gorilla. Save that for the lady throwing eggs at Larry Elder.
Oh, that's right. I'm talking about that. Oh my
God. The thing of it is that the theaters are squaring off. Nobody knows where this streaming thing's going to go. Disney's trying to put itself in the best position to be able to win no matter what. So if the theaters find out that streaming doesn't really do as well, they don't make as much money as they do when it's in the theater. They don't want the theaters to know that.
Right.
Because then that gives the theaters power. And that's why, and Scarlett Johansson just got caught in the middle, basically. That's my opinion.
You know what? I feel so sorry for her. She's definitely going to have to go sleep on that giant bed made of $100 bills. But on the flip note, she might be wealthy, but Disney is thousands of times more wealthy. So
yeah.
That's why they're the villain here, because they could have just paid her and none of us would have known about it.
Well, if they promised her something and couldn't fulfill it, they can't go, oh, sorry, pandemic, can't pay you. It's just, they can't. They got too much money.
I agree with that. Okay, let us know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think about the Black Widow controversy, lawsuit, whatever? And how do you feel about the Russos maybe not coming back for any more Marvel movies? And do you even care? Are you done with Marvel? Have you moved on to the DC? And will Warner Brothers hire the Russos to make a DC movie a la James Gunn?
Do it.
Bada bing, bada boom. I would like that.
Thanks for watching. To see the full conversation, become a member of the Popcast family. Use the link in the description below or go to our channel and click the join button. Select your tier and we'll see you at the next show.